Hold on. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on another episode of Ask Sharifah Videocast. This show is a very special show for me. One of the reasons why it's so special is I get an opportunity to speak to a dear friend of mine. I've known him for some time, and he is one that's in entertainment and wealth building. He does so much. But what's so interesting to me about this gentleman is that he has been there through the years and watched me through my career, and he is still here to this day. And so one of the things that I do that not many people know that I do is that when the world goes crazy, I go to his page to see what he has to say about the world going crazy. And you might want to try it yourself, because I can guarantee you his opinion, his view on the world is unlike no other. No one sees the world like he does. Maybe because it's his experience. As they say, he's been around the block a few times in entertainment, like I said, wealth building. But before I bring my guest on, please go ahead and share this show, because friends don't let friends miss out on Ask Sharifah Videocast. You may recognize his name, you may recognize his face, or maybe his family name, but I'm going to introduce you to Mr. Daryl Mooney, son of Paul Mooney. He is also part of MVET. He does so much, but he's going to talk to us today. And I guarantee you, whatever he says, he is going to keep it real. Good afternoon, Daryl. How are you?
All right, one of my favorite people in the solar system. How are you, Sharifah?
I am wonderful. I'm excited to have you here today because I'm going to learn, I'm going to listen, and I'm going to pick your brain.
Yes, yes. Let's make it happen. Today is such a wonderful day for brain picking. It's a lovely, lovely day.
I guess any day is a good day for brain picking. But before I start with all my questions, because I have a lot, just give us a brief introduction for anyone who has no idea, who's been under a rock and don't know who you are.
Okay, yes, yes. Well, you started off with I'm son of oldest son of Paul Mooney, the young gentleman in show business, comedian, writer for Richard Pryor, actor, legend in the industry. My brother, twin brother, Dwayne Mooney, we worked together as the Mooney twins for over 30 years doing stand-up comedy, doing lectures and speaking. We still work together. We are now focused on wealth building. We've had tremendous experience in the wellness movement and the mind science movement. And now we are really, really strong into the wealth building movement, because from all these years that we've done different things, we realize that you can create your reality, but your reality has to be financed. So why not finance your own reality?
No, but that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Now I'm gonna start with the questions, because I have to hear what you have to say. What do you think of all the marching and the racial divide that's going on in the country today?
Ooh, ooh, oh, 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 woo. Okay, let's start first with so-called conspiracy theories, and then let's go to realities, and let's go to, we know that the creator or the energy is always present. Okay, the quantum field of creation, the God mind, is always working. As they say, no matter what plan that someone has, the creator always has a greater plan, because you can't outplan the creator. So let's go back to the riots or the protesting or the marching, the racial chaos. That racial chaos has been The only reason that is happening is exploited because it's always been under the rug in some instances, and it's always been obvious in other instances. In other words, the racial dilemma has always been going on. Okay. So now you have something that stimulated the riot. First of all, people was locked inside their house. Everybody was inside. No TV, no sports, no activities you can go out, no sports you can watch on television unless they're reruns. There was nothing you can get into. Everybody was locked down. So then we see, at least we think we see. Let's go with it that we saw it. We see a murder right in our living rooms, right on TV, right on Facebook, right on wherever we were watching. We see a white police cop put his knee on the neck of a gentleman, of a black gentleman, and then a couple of police held him down, and so he died. So it's a murder. So this stimulated the racial movement, the marching and the protesting, especially with the young people. And folks couldn't wait to get out the house.
Yes.
So they out the house. They said, forget the corona. I'm gonna get 1 feet within distance of people. I'm gonna be in people's faces. And in a lot of instances, I'm not even gonna put on a mask. In other instances, people put on masks. So you have this racial chaos that was already set up when you had the hate for Obama, right? And then you had the hate for Trump. The black folks hating Trump, the white folks hating Obama. So you already had this racial divide going on. So now that piece exploited it and exploded it. And now you've got the chaos going on. So what do I think about it? The first thing I think of, there is a lot of exploitation going on behind the scenes about it. However, there is a lot of real people who are involved who seriously want to see a change and a difference being made. And that is a lot of young people out there are just tired of it because they are experiencing this racism on a daily. And then you have all of these white people who are out marching. I'm not talking about the folks who are running the game and creating stuff and writing on buildings and setting fire to stuff. I'm not talking about that element. That element is going to always be out there and always trying to exploit something that's going down. I'm talking about the good people of the movement who are really, really trying to make a difference. And on that, to answer to the question, I think on that level, the march is a good thing and is creating a lot of things. Right now, you have actors and actresses of Caucasian descent who are literally quitting their jobs because they're doing voiceovers for Black people. You have the Aunt Jemima piece that has been taking down that image of Aunt Jemima because that is an image of slavery, although we know that that is not the whole story, but that is a major story. So that image is being taken down. White folks are quitting their jobs of being voiceover, said, I should not be a voiceover for a Black person. And all kind of little victories that are happening like that. You have all of these resources and all this financing that's being used or being done for Black businesses, for startups and established. You have a lot of powerful things going on at the same time where you can look at it as a chaos. So it's up to us spiritual minded folks, us conscious folks, to find the order in the chaos and then take advantage of the situation and take advantage of the exploitation and see how far we can take it and see how far our victory can go. Does that make sense? So I look at all energy when people come together, and they come enough people come together for the right thing will cancel out the people who are coming together to manipulate and exploit what's going on. Does that make sense, Sharifah?
It makes perfect sense. And that's why that was the first question I asked, because I'm like, I know Daryl is going to hit us. He's going to hit us with that message. And I agree. I agree 100% with what you had to say. And over the last month or so, one of the things that I've seen personally is that I have all the white people are calling me and saying, Sharifah, we need to talk. And then I have all the Black people over here calling me and saying, you know, you should march or you should put up the Black Lives Matter. And my response to the white people was, I mean, I can talk to you, but unless you have the ability to give me reparations, when you ask me what you can do as a white person to help me, my response is, you know, just be a nice person. Don't, you know, do all the caring things that y'all do, because you may be a white person, but you don't have the power to change my life. So there's nothing you can do for me personally. As for the Black people, you know, I spent the last year running for Long Beach City Council, and I was trying to get people out in a part of the community and make change, and let's, you know, change the world. And it was crickets. I didn't hear anything. And now all of a sudden it's like, but we have all these issues. I'm like, but where were you when I was trying to discuss these issues? So it's like right now, I honestly feel like I don't want to talk to anyone, Black, white, green, you know what I mean? Like, I just want my reparations and my peace. Am I alone, Daryl?
Look, you're like me. You see, my great, well, two greats. Father was an Irish white man. So if you see my color, I've got white blood in me. I've got Cherokee Native American blood in me. I've got Nigerian blood in me. I've got Black American blood in me. So I've got all these energies and all these flows, but yet I was raised in the Black community. So I have an extra sensitivity toward the Black community because that's how I was raised. That's who I know. My father is Paul Mooney. My godfather's Dick Gregory. My uncle was Richard Pryor. So you know the Black thing is all up in me.
Yes.
So that's there. But at the same time, I am a universal person. I'm Black conscious and I'm a universal conscious. So my thing is, at this point, because it's easy when you see what's going on and you see the debates and you see the arguing, it's easy to get into polarity. It's easy to get into anger. It's easy to get into hate. Easy. So what I do is go into that minefield, go into that universal presence and find the love and find the unity. And at the same time, answer questions and deal with people as human beings and with love. But at the same time, I stand in my presence where I command and I demand respect. So what you just said, when we talk about the reparations, what a regular average white person who don't have no power, something that Dick Gregory used to say all the time, which was a brilliant line. Dick Gregory used to say, see, Black folks, y'all mad at the wrong white folks. Y'all mad at the white folks who couldn't help you if they wanted to. Okay?
Yes.
Who couldn't help you if they wanted to. So what does that mean? It means what you just said. Okay, you can be nice to me, you can be loving to me, But if you can't give me no reparations, if you can't give me no black stimulus money, then you're really not helping me, but with your good energy. But the real help has to be intangibles. Tangibles. Money is tangible. Land is tangible. Giving me a business is tangible. Giving me a house is tangible. Giving me material things is tangible. Giving me free education is tangible. There's a lot of tangible things that can be given to me. For instance, we know that this country was built on the free labor of black people.
Yes.
Correct? We're
Correct.
in agreement.
We're in agreement.
All right. So how can you pay that back? I mean, how can you pay back what we built? We know that it's shown that if we were to get reparations in money, it would be $14 trillion plus. Okay. So now I think that all of the businesses that are still in place today, banks, insurance companies, because remember, insurance companies were started back in slavery because you had to insure your slave. Okay. Yes. So there's a lot of businesses and enterprises that were created around slavery that are still in existence today, especially banks and certain major businesses and corporations. So therefore, an ongoing percentage of those current businesses should also come with that reparations. So we should be making money that was built off our backs, should be given to black people as long as these businesses exist. And a part of that, Sharifah, and if you don't know, I've got to turn you on to it. Okay. All this black stimulus money that's going out to startups and established black businesses is going out today, now, and it'll be coming for the next couple of years to black people. And I look at that as a part of reparations because the money is coming from FedEx, the money is coming from SBA loans and grants, other entities. The money is available for black people to come up. Now, just because you get the money and just because it's available and just because you get it does not necessarily mean you will come up. So therefore, you have to have the right mindset, because if you come to the table with a poverty mindset, the same thing is going to happen to us. It's the same thing that happens to most lottery winners. They get this money, and what happens? They spend it, and it doesn't become an asset. It becomes a liability because they're buying liabilities and they're not buying assets. What's the difference? Assets are investments that grow your money, and liabilities are where you spend your money and you lose that money and it's never to come back again. So therefore, you drain your money and you drain your wealth because you had a poverty consciousness and not a wealth consciousness or money consciousness that's going to grow your money. And a lot of these people that are giving out money, they are just looking for you to spend the money and put the money back in the economy. So the 1% can get that money returned right back to them. But we who are smart, Sharifah, we who have financial IQ and financial literacy, we who have our own businesses, who are entrepreneurs, who are investors, we are going to take that money that's available and we are going to grow that money. And we're going to grow that money so powerfully, when the lockdown is over, we will be richer, we will be more affluent, we will be more abundant, because there's only so many times that windows of opportunity open. And remember, in Chinese, not calligraphy, that's calligraphy, right? What is that? The
The Chinese
Chinese
writing, the Chinese symbols.
Chinese writing that they do.
Yes.
The picture of chaos is also the picture of opportunity.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
I'm gonna repeat: the picture in chaos is also the picture of opportunity. The great minds like Napoleon Hill, Bob Proctor, Dennis Kimbrough, Les Brown. We know in every negative circumstance, there is a positive equivalent.
Mhm.
If you look for it, Sharifah,
Yes.
it's
This is
not
me
going to
looking
just,
for it. I'm like, let
you
me
got
talk
to
to
be looking
Daryl.
for it. You cannot be looking for, people see the opportunity and the money, and what are they looking for? They're looking for a Mercedes. They're looking for some new clothes. They're looking for some new jewelry. They're looking for some new, they're not looking for the opportunity to build wealth.
Mhm.
You got to look for it. It's a mindset. You're
Mhm.
going to get what you're looking for. As great as the chaos is, as intense as the anger is, you can say as intense as the hate is out there, at the same time, as intense is the passion, as intense is the love, as intense as the universe is giving to us right now. I can feel it. I can feel it right now.
I love you. You are so amazing.
Energy right now, Sharifah, that all we have to do is tune into it and relax and listen
Mhm.
and listen, and it will move us in the right direction. It will have us saying the right things. It will have us filling out, because a lot of this stimulus money, it has to be filled out right. For example, two of our people just got approved $28,000 financing.
Mhm.
Check this out, Sharifah. This is unheard of.
Mhm.
No credit score,
Mhm.
just the EIN number and a bank account,
Mhm.
and showing that you have a bank account with a year of documentation, an EIN number, your name, they got the money.
Mhm.
Okay? Feeling it out right. And if you don't get it the first time, do not give up. Keep putting it in an application till you fill it out right. Because right now, they don't have time to be looking at it a person. Just let me look at this person's application over, and then the second person, oh, then the third person looks. They don't have time. It's all technical now. So
Mhm.
everything just has to be in right position, the T's crossed, the I's dotted, and you will get financed. So I'm saying the opportunity right now, Sharifah, yeah, there's chaos, yeah, there's hate, yeah, there's anger, but there's also order, there's also love, there's also compassion, there's also passion, there's
Mhm.
also God, the
Mhm.
creator, the energy is there for us. So we just got to tune in and turn it on and make it happen. The wings are right now beneath our feet for real.
Okay, so for the people tuning in, Daryl, who want this money, fill out the application. Where do they go?
Okay, now, well, they want to come to me for this.
Oh,
I've
that's why
got
I'm
a
asking you.
I've got a special meeting tonight for those people that
Mhm.
who are investors. I'm not talking about no play with people, no jive people, no people who scared of money. I'm not talking about them people. I'm talking about the people that Sharif, and
Mhm.
you know the kind of people I'm talking about.
I
People like
do.
you and me.
I do. Yes.
Okay, we know these kind of people.
Yes.
So I am going to send you the number. It's 7 p.m. tonight, and all they got to
Okay.
do is listen in. And you give
Okay.
it to people. You give the number to people who you think are right mentally,
Okay.
because this thing is not for the jive folks. This is for serious people. And what we're doing is showing people how to get this money, and then we're not only showing them how to get this money, but we're showing them the things to invest in. We have set up right now, Sharifah, a trading, day trading piece that's been, this guy's been trading for, these people have been trading for 25 years successful. We've been watching them for a year. We started trading with them the last 2 months, $10,000 investment. We've made that back and plus more so far. We're waiting for the account to grow to $1 million before we start taking money out of it. Okay. That's one thing that we've got going on. We've got a new piece going on, a cryptocurrency piece that we've been watching for a year. We've been watching for a year because we don't just do things. We don't just jump into things. We research them. We look at them. We make sure they're tight. We make sure they're professional. We're about to, because you got to be able to take this money and use this money. I give you, that's what other people's money is all about, Sharifah. Millionaires and billionaires don't even use their own money. They use other people's money, quote unquote, which is the banks. But the average person can do the same thing. See, you become a 1%er by thinking like the 1%. You don't have to have 1% money, but you have to think like the 1%. And once you think like the 1%er, then you get money like the 1%ers. And one of the quickest ways to get money is by way of the banks. So that's one way, but you have grants and you have other things. So a 1%er is in business. A 1%er is in business. All 1%ers have an EIN number. So the first thing you want to do is get an EIN number and set up a business bank account. Now you're in position for all these people who want to give you money to give you money. They can't give you money if you ain't ready to receive the money. So you got to be, they're not going to make it that easy for you. They're not going, you're not going to have your hand out and say, okay, here's $20,000. There's some things you got to do. You got to at least get an EIN number. So set it up where you're ready to receive the money. Then you can receive, then you can get the money. We teach and we instruct about these things tonight with our company that I'm a leader in, by the way. You've known me for the past few years. You know I've been committed to this flow, and we are really flowing real strong. We've got millions. See, we've already put millions of dollars into 98% Black businesses across the country. So we were already doing it. Now imagine this, though. Imagine this, taking it to another level. We're Black owned, but we're not Black only. What does that mean? We're Black owned, but we do business with everybody and we serve everybody across the board because money is green and everybody likes green. Now think about this. This is revolutionary. Think about, you know about business credit and you know about the US banks. Think about having international banks giving you financing, Japanese banks, European banks, Caribbean banks, African banks, banks across the world. You have credit cards, lines of credit, and financing from banks around the world, from millionaire hedge funds, millionaires and billionaires around the world, because that's what they're doing too. Millionaires and billionaires are putting their own business investment pieces together to give to the Black lives. Our theme is Black lives, mind and money matters. Black lives, mind and money matters, because our thing is to get this money. Yeah, we can get wellness. We can get positive relationships, and that is a part of prosperity. Don't get me wrong. I've been in the New Age and New Thought movement for the last 40 years. Wellness, nutrition, health, physical fitness, all of that.
Spirituality,
all of that. And I love it. It wouldn't change any of it for the universe. But this financial piece, making this financial piece a part of your spirituality has taken my life to another level. I went from a 500 credit score to a 750 credit score. I went to getting no financing to over $80,000 in financing. and getting more financing right now. I am building, I am getting money to people, I am getting people's mindset together, because the mind is where it all starts. If your mind ain't right, your behind won't do nothing. Your behind will chase the wrong thing. Your behind will chase poverty if it doesn't have a prosperity mind. When it has a prosperity mind, is something in the brain called the ROS, reticular activating system. Reticular activating system. And when it's programmed with auto-suggestion, with affirmations, with visualization, with images of wealth, it will seek.
Okay, so it looks like we might be having a little bit of technical difficulties here. We're waiting for Daryl to come back. In the interim, we've been having
Did I
such
go
a great.
somewhere?
You are here. I'm with you, Daryl. I was just going to invite the people, if they have any questions for Mr. Daryl Mooney, or to make sure they go ahead and share the show, because we've been having such an interesting conversation. I love your statement on banks and getting all the money from the banks. But I want to go back to the Black Lives Matter a little bit and the marching. This is my thing, and this is just me. And you know, I think we've known each other since, at least, some years. So you've seen me through the years. And my thought is always, if you're going to march, why don't you march these people to some entrepreneurship or business ownership? This whole movement has raised millions of dollars. Some people, they've said they've raised $80 million. I've heard I've heard some numbers as far as the millions that Black Lives Matter has raised. And I'm like, okay, well, are you going to open a bank? Like you mentioned banks. I want them to open a bank. If Black Lives Matter, then where's your bank? Like, I only really know about one Black bank that is doing it well. I love them. People have supported them. We did the whole Bank Black movement. But from my knowledge, there's really only one bank. I would love to see your organization or, all these protesters open a bank.
To answer to that, it's funny how we separate, not you, but how we in the matrix separate social from political from financial, right? Like, I heard that Black Lives Matter money is going back to politics. It's going back to the Democratic Party.
I heard that. I have heard that.
Who's the owner. But we know, but regardless if that's true or not, we know that the money is going back into Black Lives Matter to create social stuff. Okay? Social stuff. Why is the financial piece always left out? You know why? Because when you are financially empowered, now here's an example. And I don't want this to make anybody angry, and this is not to upset anybody. This is just true. All of these killings that you've seen of police on Black people, all of this profiling that you see when you see all the videos of the profiling and you see all the harassment, all of this, as you have seen, has been in 500 or lower credit score communities. Think about that.
That's deep. That is really deep.
Think about that. It's been in, you don't see this in upscale communities. You don't see this in 660 plus 700, 850 credit score communities. You don't see this going down because the wealthy communities, the upscale communities, control their police. Now, let's say that these 500 communities said, okay, I am going to raise my economy. I'm going to raise my credit score. I'm going to raise my credit score so I can purchase the real estate in my community so I won't be gentrified. Okay? So when I own my community, I own my block, I own my community. I own the big buildings. We own it as a collective. The majority of us own it. That means now we really control our community. So the politicians, the police force, everybody has to bow to us because we control our community, and they are truly working for us. That's when the game changes. When we are renting our communities, the ones who own it, the buildings that we're renting from, they really own the community. And you know they do, because what happens when they decide to gentrify? We are moved out.
Right.
Okay. But when we own it, I'm not saying you have people who own it, Black folks who own it. I'm talking about as a collective where this is the meme of the community. We ought not go to school and get an education. No, go get some education and own your community, own your real estate. That means we get mad, right, as a community, when the Filipinos or the Asians come to our community and open up these nail shops and make this money, or these hair shops and make all this money, but yet they are not reinvesting back into our community. But yet we get mad at them. Well, if we own the buildings, they'd have to come in and rent those buildings from us.
Yes.
You see the difference?
Yes.
When you own your community, you control your community. You control the politicians, you control the police force, you control everybody, because everybody wants to come because they need your money. So they're asking you, can we do this? Can we do that? Can we not do this? Can we not do? Or let's run this by you first. That means that let's run this by your elite force of the community, the wealthy people of the community. We're going to run this by them first. When presidents come, when they're running for presidents, when they come to the community and they're doing their presidential run, they're running, they come and get that fundraising, right? Who do they come to? They do all these elite parties with the wealthy of the community.
Yes.
The wealthy of the community. They're the real front runners or controllers of the community, is the wealthy of the community, because the politicians have to come through them in order to get through the common people. So if the common person decides to come up, hey, there's something to this wealth game, let me start thinking like a 1%er and becoming wealthy, at least at the bottom line, creating, what do they call it? The image of wealth, because that's the first step. You create the image, and then the wealth, that's setting yourself up. Like, for instance, people think an EIN number, a business number, or a business account, some people literally think that costs thousands of dollars to do, Sharifah. They think in order to incorporate yourself with a C Corp, a S Corp, a LLC, takes hundreds of thousands of dollars to do. It takes a few $100s to do. You see what I'm saying? For you to put yourself in place like a business person, because once you put yourself in place and the mechanism that's already been created, we're not making anything up. This has already been created. All we're doing is following and mastering what's already been done. Then you put yourself in the position in order to not only receive money, but also to create money and also to grow money. Does this make sense at all, Sister Sharifah?
It makes perfect sense to me. It makes perfect sense to me.
And let's march to the bank. What about
That's
marching
what
to the
I'm
bank?
saying. That's what I want to do. Let's march to our bank. Like, this is a bank for our people.
To our bank.
Yes.
What about marching to? Can you close that door, honey? Thank you very much. What about marching to our bank? That's what it's about. And that's what we do, Sharifah.
Mhm.
We teach, check this out.
Mhm.
We teach you how to get financed
Mhm.
from multiple banks where we call it business and bank, where you literally become your bank by way of the banks, meaning you're getting finance from Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, so on and so forth. Now check this out. Now this is what people say to me, and I laugh at people. Well, y'all don't get your money from a black bank. Why don't y'all get your money from a black bank? Well, black banks don't have the money that these other institutions have.
Mhm.
So you're not going to find a non-interest financing from black banks. That's going to be hard to find.
Mhm.
But these white banks, it's easier to get finance. Let's say our people have access to over 100 banks across the country, our underwriters. The
Mhm.
Bank of America in Compton is not going to have the same criteria as the Bank of America in Ohio
Mhm.
or in Utah. Same Bank of America, but different qualifications for each banks.
Mhm.
And you talk about racial profiling.
Mhm.
A lot of banks do zip code profiling.
Mhm.
Do you hear me?
Yes, I do. Yes, I
Zip
do.
code file. They will see a zip code. Okay, this person's zip code is in Compton, California, in a certain area. No, we're not going to give them any financing because 9 times out of 10, their business will get robbed
Mhm.
because of their zip code. So they won't give up the financing. When the SBA loans were given out when Obama was in office, the Federal Reserve gave, and Obama, while he was, the top man, so it was on his post,
Mhm.
came out. They gave all this money to the banks. By the way, Trump gave out 4 months ago $4 trillion to the banks. That's
Mhm.
another story.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of money uh, in the banks. Well,
Mhm.
Obama, SBA loans, right?
Mhm.
Check this out. Y'all ready for this?
I'm ready.
This is the percentage. The Latino community, 11% went out to the Latino community.
Mhm.
14% women across the board.
Mhm.
Women across the board, 14% of this financing. Here's a black man, president of the United States. Do you know how much money went out to the black community from those SBA loans?
Probably none.
2%.
Wow.
2%. It's not, Sharif, it's not that the money wasn't available to black people. It's that black folks didn't know about it.
Right.
Because when you went to the bank as a black person, they didn't say to you, hey,
You're
it's
a
some
black
money
person.
available for you. They
Mhm.
didn't tell you that. You had to know by somebody, some business institution, some business associates, some millionaires. Somebody had to tell you, look, Sharifa, hey, it's this financing. You should go to the bank and tell them and ask them about the SBA loan and get
Mhm.
that financing, right?
Mhm.
You have to be told because they're not volunteering that information. And they took a lot of that money. The banks, your friendly neighborhood, great moral, quote unquote, moral banks, they took some of that money themselves
Mhm.
and invested in real estate, invested in cryptocurrency, invested in franchise business, invested. So again, what we do is teach people how to get money from the banks, how to become their own bank,
Mhm.
right? Because their bank is in their drawer with all them credit cards. That's their
Yes.
bank, the bank of
Yes.
you. So
Yes.
when you wake up in the morning, you ask yourself, do how do you want to do you want to you need some money? Can you borrow this money from you?
Mhm.
Now, eventually, what we're going to have set up, and we're creating, and we're on our way, we'll create our own banks.
Yes.
We're calling our own credit unions, our own Mavet credit unions, our own credit unions and banks that we have access to. And
Mhm.
all of this is doable. But again, you have to have the mindset, because anything that anybody else can do that's
Mhm.
being done, are there not credit unions out there, Sharifah? Yes
There
or no?
are. Yes.
Are there banks out there? Yes or no?
Yes.
Are there private banks out there? Yes or no?
Yes.
Are there private credit unions out there? Yes or
Yes.
no? Are
Yes.
there banks from different nationalities and races out there right now? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
So if they can do it, we can do it too, because it's legal.
Yes.
But again, we have to have the mindset. If you've got 50 people, 50 people with over $500,000 in their bank account access to right now, you don't think they can create their own bank, their own
That's
credit union?
that's my
Yes.
point. Yes. Why
Yes.
don't we? Why don't we as a people?
Because we're not financially literate and we don't have the financial IQ. Now, what's the difference between financial literacy and financial IQ? Financial literacy is the information you know, like the information you know about credit repair. That's financial literacy. The
Mhm.
information you know about investing, that's financial literacy.
Mhm.
Accounting, information you know about accounting, that's financial literacy. Now, financial IQ, check this out.
Mhm.
Financial IQ is when you can take that literacy,
Mhm.
financial literacy, and make money off that literacy. And the more money you can make, the higher your IQ. Isn't that beautiful?
It is.
Your financial IQ, and this is right from Robert Kiyosaki. I'm not making nothing up.
Mhm.
You take the information that you have and then take that information and then make money on it. And then you have, the more money you make, the higher your IQ. Now, what we have is a system where everything is under one umbrella. Now,
Mhm.
there are people out there who are creating their own systems. They're creating their, shoot, I just got out of a 7-day, free 7-day Tony Robbins presentation that was magnificent
Oh, wow.
online. It was phenomenal. Uh, it was free because right now you have all these great people, the Bob Proctors, the Tony Robbins, the this one, the that one. Les Brown is on every day now.
Right.
They're on every day giving you their jewels, what they've been working 20, 30, 40, 50 years for, giving you their jewels. And guess what, Sharifah? I'm at their feet. I'm at
Mm.
their feet. I'm getting jewels
That's
because
why I
they're
come and check on you, because you get the jewels, and I'm like, I have to learn from you. I want to take a question for you, Daryl. We have a question. The young lady wants to know. She said, "Have you written a book, or what material would you recommend to change my financial mentality?" She says, "I always hear about Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, etc. I would love to know what you're personally reading to shift my relationship with wealth."
say, what was that question again? Repeat that.
The last part was, what are you personally reading to shift my relationship with wealth?
She trying to get some jewels.
That's
Okay,
what you're here for. We need these jewels.
okay. I'm gonna give you something that you will never be the same.
Okay.
The first thing you want to do is buy the original Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Okay.
Buy a book, not just read it, but study it.
Mm-hmm.
Master those 13 principles: desire, specialized knowledge, organized planning, the brain, the subconscious, the sixth sense, amongst the other 13. Study it. Study, study, study. Come to me and get our free services. We have free services where we have a free workbook, mind mastery workbook that's 50 pages. We do every morning mind mastery, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. PST time. And we base our teachings, Sharifah, on the 13 principles of Napoleon Hill, because we don't want to say we made it up. We put our swag on it, but we want to be able to go back to, like, when you're in church or you're at the mosque with the Nation of Islam, or you're at church with the Bible, or you're in Buddhist meditation and they open up their holy books and they read scripture.
Yes.
That documents what they're talking about, that backs up what they're saying. Yes. Well, we do the same thing with Think and Grow Rich. Back up what Think and Grow Rich to back up what we're saying, because that book is still a #1 bestseller after all these years. It's the #1 book that's created more millionaires and billionaires than any other book on the planet. Millionaires and billionaires still to this day swear by it. The research on it, what Napoleon Hill was, took him 20 years to research millionaires of that time, how they think. So Tony Robbins and Les Brown and Bob Proctor and the rest of them, that's where the base information comes from, Think and Grow Rich. Now, after that, go into Bob Proctor's teachings, because he's got some incredible teachings, but his base comes from Think and Grow Rich. And we pick these people, Sharifah and guests, because they're metaphysical, but they're about the money. Okay. They're about the Faloa, which we call the Faloa. You have the law of attraction, which is the LOA, but the Fulo, LOA, the financial universe law of attraction. So I suggest Think and Grow Rich and buy the book.
It's like we're going in and out. It was the jewel. It was at the good point. The magic that I could tell by the fingers. We were about to get the magic. Okay, you went. Okay, you were giving us the magic.
Yes, the $50. The go see our 50-page mind mastery workbook when you see our free services. Now you want to do some physical things to get your mind. Your mind, you want to do auto-suggestion, affirmation. It's all about how you think. I am wealthy, I am wealthy, I am abundant. Anything for I am. After I am wealthy, I am prosperous, I am a millionaire right now. You've got to program that subconscious mind. Get those positive, negative knowns and positive knowns. Get those negative knowns out your mind, and then positive knowns in your subconscious is conscious, and your superconscious. Your superconscious mind is that supreme conscious mind, that sixth sense, and you program the subconscious mind. You telling the supreme mind what you want. I'm gonna get it for you, or I'm gonna tell you how to get something better. You got to do work. Because if your mind is full of poverty and you're programmed every day with poverty consciousness, and it's programmed full of poverty, and you thinking, your superconscious mind can't talk to you because you can't hear.
Right.
Because you're hearing craziness. You're hearing chaos. So you got to get your mind in order. But here's an example. This is back to the march. Is not a big thing. I can't breathe. Sharifah?
You said it's not a big thing. I can't breathe.
That's a big thing. That's a big mem. That's a big auto-suggestion going on there.
Yes, I can't breathe.
I can't breathe.
Yes.
I don't say that. I say I can breathe.
Yes.
Because the subconscious mind doesn't know I can't breathe, and then it breaks down. We talking about some neck, foot on the neck that can't breathe. The subconscious mind is not breaking down all that. You have to break all that down consciously. The subconscious mind just hears, I can't breathe. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yes,
I hope
hear
y'all
you.
listening real closely because this is real powerful. So when the subconscious mind says, I can't breathe, then you all of a sudden you can't breathe.
Right,
You look up tomorrow, hey, I'm having a hard time breathing.
right.
But when the subconscious mind hears, I can breathe, all of a sudden more oxygen is coming into the body. So you want to affirm and suggest, I can breathe. And then you have another affirmation. And this is the Black people, excuse me, for those of you who are not Black, who are of another cultural background, but we all Black, we all white, we all green, we all red, we all one. But we're talking about for the folks in the cheap seats in the back who can't hear.
Right.
Now, they say that Black women are not protected. You know what that does to the subconscious mind when you let that in, you let that cross over into your mind, all of a sudden, Black women aren't protected. No, forget that. I affirm Black women are protected. Okay? That means whatever is in the environment, we know the creator is there all the time. So wherever you are, the creator is going to create a protector for you. You hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
That person over there who you thought was a homeless person, all of a sudden will jump up and be a cop incognito. You hear me?
Yes.
The universe is unlimited. We got to stop putting limitation on the universe. The universe always got you, but when you think the universe don't have you is when it doesn't have you. When you program yourself for the universe to have you is when you can listen and hear and see how the universe is working for you. All right? So you got to program yourself back to wealth. I'm wealthy. I'm healthy. I am a millionaire right now. All my bills are paid and more. You got to see this in your imagination above the circumstance that you see. You've got to see and see a whole nother reality because when you go into your imagination, you go into another dimension. And that dimension is more real than this fifth dimension. That fourth dimension and that third dimension is more real than this fifth dimension because that dimension creates this dimension. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
That dimension creates this dimension. The imagination creates this dimension. So here's the trick, Sharifah. When the matrix rulers can control your imagination, they control your reality. I can't breathe. Black women aren't protected. The Black man does not control his destiny. I say the Black man controls his destiny. When they can control your imagination, they control your reality. How do they control your imagination? Through memes like I can't breathe, through memes like showing you video of chaos and horror, of Black men getting killed, of Black men getting killed, on and on. And I control. So in my imagination, every time I step out and I see a cop, I'm fearful and afraid I'm gonna get killed. Okay, so fear is in my mind instead of saying, hey, that cop is a human being. And if I go into God's presence, then I will connect with that individual and he or she is going to bow down to my reality. I give you an example. When I was a teenager, we used to park cars in Beverly Hills. We used to park in Mercedes and Rolls Royces and all the most expensive cars of famous actors. And me and my brother, and it was raining one day, we had our red coats and we was running up and down the hill because we had to park the cars on the lot, on the hill. So the police kept seeing us running in this rain. So all of a sudden we go in and park the car. We look up and get out the cars and we're up there on the top floor and we see all these cops got us trapped,
Mm-hmm.
and they pulling out billy clubs and guns, and I'm going off. I'm going off. What y'all doing? They handcuffing me. What y'all doing? Boom, boom. They think we stealing cars.
Mm.
Okay. And my brother is cool, right? And I'm arguing and debating and acting a fool. And they hit me with a billy club and knocked me down to the ground to my knees. And my brother shouts out, because they separate us. He shouts out, "Be cool, Daryl, be cool." So I relax.
Mm-hmm.
I relax and go into the zone. And
Mm-hmm.
once I relaxed, and they didn't have nothing to battle against, they didn't have nothing to fight against, they relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
And once they relaxed, they checked what they had to check, and they let us go.
Mm-hmm.
And from that day on, I learned how to deal with cops, how to deal with police. Well, one of the biggest ways I learned how to deal with police, we did a show at the Rodney King. When Rodney King, that whole thing happened when Rodney King was beat years
Mm-hmm.
ago.
92, the LA riots.
And they had a they had a they had a it was up here at the big church, the big temple on Wilshire.
Mm-hmm.
They had brought the military in. They had a big function for the cops and for the military.
Mm-hmm.
And they invited my brother and I to come entertain. My
Mm-hmm.
my conscious mind was, no, I'm not entertaining no police. I'm not entertaining no pigs.
Mm-hmm.
But I relaxed, and my God mind said, go and
Mm-hmm.
entertain. So we go in and do our conscious comedy, and we got them cracking up, and we slip in, y'all, I know y'all ready to shoot black people, because every time you go out there on the range, all your targets are black.
Mm-hmm.
So you see a black person, your subconscious sees a black person. Let me shoot that target,
Right.
right? So we're throwing it in the jokes. We're throwing in truth in jokes and all of that. And do you know, for a whole 3 years after that, every time I got stopped by police in LA, they're saying, "I saw you at the event,"
Right.
and just let me go, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying they are human beings, and it's an energy thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to rise above that energy,
Mm-hmm.
rise above it. And you can literally, you go into God consciousness, you go into that Zen mind, you
Mm-hmm.
can literally pace them and lead them to your freedom. When you go into fear, when you go into not complying, you go into the craziness, they get crazy right with you,
Mm-hmm.
because they're waiting to be afraid. They're waiting to attack. But if you show no fear and pace them and lead them, meaning pace them, connect to their energy, where you guide their energy, you'll come home that day. You'll be alive that day. So I don't go into those situations in fear. I
Mm-hmm.
go in there with my creator. Does that make sense,
Amen.
Sharifah?
Amen. That makes perfect sense. Now, Daryl, I have to tell you this right now. I've learned so much. I've enjoyed this. I always enjoy speaking to you because I know that you're conscious. I know who you are, and I want to share you with the world. However, with that said, we've gone over a little bit, but
Okay.
there a little bit. Um, but there are two questions or two things that I wanted to make sure that I fit in. So I want to do those quickly if possible. Number one, a lot of people are saying that we don't have people such as yourself in our community speaking up. You stand on the shoulders of giants. You mentioned giants. I mean, when you talk about Paul Mooney, Richard Pryor, Dick Gregory, those are giants. And then we
Yeah.
look around Hollywood and we have other Black men who aren't conscious, who aren't speaking up. I've heard rumors about how Hollywood tries to destroy you or put you in a dress. But now in 2020, we have our own platforms. Are you considering making your voice louder, stronger? Because we need someone like you.
Well, that's a great question. Have you heard Beyonce's new song?
I've heard of it. I've heard a snippet of it, but I haven't heard the entire thing.
Yeah, black
Parade,
something.
I believe, but something with Black Parade or something like that.
Yeah, that is a beautiful, 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 beautiful song. She really goes into not only consciousness, but she goes into some African spirituality. Very, very powerful. So
Okay.
there, the creator moves through Hollywood also.
Mhm.
However, there's so much negative energy, is so much ego and chaos in Hollywood is controlling that it's hard for, but every now and then there's a filter that comes through there that's God consciousness. And
Mhm.
that's why I never really went at Hollywood hard like that, because I always knew, I saw that the work my father had, the craziness he had to go through.
Mhm.
I had a master like Dick Gregory who taught me how to maneuver through it. I saw how Hollywood basically destroyed Richard Pryor.
Mhm.
So how Hollywood can take you, eat you up, and spit you out. So I've always had a distance from myself and Hollywood.
Mhm.
And something that Dick Gregory always told me, wherever you go, you can always take your humor with you.
Mhm.
Okay. So I went into the New Thought movement, the wellness movement, and now the wealth movement, and brought my humor with me. And if
Mhm.
Hollywood wants me, I've done enough work. They always got to come get me, but they're
Mhm.
going to come get me on my terms.
Mhm.
Because years ago, I wouldn't put on a dress. Years ago, I wouldn't disrespect Black people on screen.
Mhm.
Years ago, before it was hip, before it was the thing to do, me and my brother did that years ago.
Mhm.
Okay, years ago, and we found more things that were just more fulfilling outside of Hollywood for us to do. To sit up there and try to entertain and make you laugh wasn't my thing that I had to do, that I'm willing to die for, and I have to do it.
Mhm.
No, giving you the truth,
Mhm.
giving you the message, upgrading your life, financing your life, spiritualizing your life, for you to have the proper perspective on this planet, to live on this planet as an empowered human being
Mhm.
is what we are about. So you can transform your life so we can help transform others so we can transform this planet.
Okay, but now again in 2020, and I understand that. And I think that was a wonderful answer. I think that
Yeah,
that was from the heart and it was sincere. But I talk about, like, you look at Steve Harvey now. His
yes, right.
shows was canceled from the networks. So now where is he? Facebook Watch. When you look at Jada Pinkett Smith and her new
Yes,
show, Red Table Talk, I mean,
yes,
many celebrities, entertainers are now utilizing Facebook,
yes,
social media as a platform. I would love to see
yes.
you get a show or have a show or start a show
That's
where you can
coming.
sit
Yes,
that.
that's
Okay,
coming.
that
That's
answered my
coming.
question.
We're gonna do all that. We're gonna do
Okay,
all that, Sharifah.
okay. I gotta
Yes,
tune
ma'am.
in because I learned
Yes,
so much from you.
yes. And that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of now, because of technology, we
Mhm.
can create our own platforms and do whatever we want to do.
That's what I want you to do. Now, again, we went over a little bit. So for whoever's tuning in, I apologize, but I get to talking, Daryl gets to talking, those jewels start flying, and I lose track of time. Plus, I didn't want to cut it short because it was some good stuff. I hope everyone has shared it, share it with your friends, share it with your network. And so what I love to do at the end of every show is just simply allow my guests the opportunity to speak directly to whoever's watching the show live, as well as everyone who's watching it in the archives, and really let them know what you want them to take away from your appearance here today.
My appearance today, right now, we're in the coronavirus time. We're in the chaos of race time. We're in the Trump time, which is all chaotic, chaos going on. But I want you to learn how to meditate, learn how
Mm,
to relax, and tune into that quantum field, that quantum energy, which is literally the mind of God.
yes.
Tune into that energy and move from that energy. Stop moving from the chaotic energy of what people are saying and doing, because that's all chaos. that's all a reflection of their realities. I want you to tune into the pure mind. Whatever religion you are, whatever your religious belief, I want you to tune into that energy, that field, that quantum field, and listen to it. And listen to it telling you that we are right now in one of the greatest times ever in the history of this planet. We are at a time of reset, at a time of transformation where we have a choice, where everybody is at the starting line again. Everybody. And it's like it's up to us. If we become leaders in this time, when all of this over, the corona and all this is over, we will be leaders of the new world because we're helping create the new world. And a lot of people will die with the old world because we do have your casualties, but I don't believe in physical death. I believe we are eternal. And I always ask myself, when is now the best time to wake up? When is now the best time to wake up? And I say now. So wake up now and go out there and be your best, do your best, help yourself and help others. And if you don't know how to help people, join with me and help me help people. I will train you, I will school you, I will help you so you can help others. And at the same time, you will get paid for it.
Yeah.
So please, now is the time. It is our time. Sharifah, this is the time we've been waiting for.
Yes.
Right now it's here. It's our time. We know what's up. And regardless of the chaos, we're going to go out there and make a positive difference. And guess what? They got to give it up. You know why? Because the Creator has the wings beneath our feet. We got it going on right now.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Words to live by. That is so wonderful. I want to thank you for being today's guest on Ask Sharifah Videocast. I want to also thank everyone who tuned in to watch the show live, as well as everyone who's watching in the archives. Daryl has a special offer for you. I have your website link. Is the meeting information on your website?
No, that meeting information is not on my website. They can leave their information on the contact information. Look over that free services, but you'll see contact at the top. Leave your information so I can get with you, and we'll make it happen. And then tonight, Sharifah, there's a 7 o'clock call. This is for special friends, special people. I'm going to give you that number so for people to listen in. All they got to do is listen, see if they like what they hear. We can move forward and get busy. But I'm here just to share and empower and come on, Sharifah, let's make it happen. You know, when you ran for that office, you know how good that was to you. You know how powerful that was. But the lessons you learned from it, nobody can take that away from you. But guess what? You still trying to get this money.
That's what I'm doing right now. I am getting this money. That's why I'm asking people like you, how do I do it? Where do I do it? When do I do it? Because it's all around me. I can sense it in the air. I see it. You know what I mean?
Feel it up in your hair. Feel it up under your bra. Feel it in your underwear. Feel it.
I definitely feel it. It's been a pleasure. Send my love to Dwayne. Send my love to Satori, your whole family. I love them. They are so wonderful. Kiss the kids for me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Please, you are so welcome. Please check out Daryl's information because we're going to start moving some mountains and we want you to be a part of this movement. Now, if you are interested in being a guest, please visit the website at AskSharifah.com. Until the next time, everyone have a safe and a blessed day. Bye now.